Heccu here at the WePlay Academy League Season 1 Finals, and right now I'm joined by Sycrone, who is the coach of Mouse NXT. Sycrone, I really want to make an interview specifically with you because I think you need more attention, more love from the community, because, I mean, you are supporting your guys on the stage 24/7, like on the stage, off the stage. I think that you are actually the reason why they are here, because you have so many young talents. You know, they need that support and you're providing that to them. Unfortunately, you didn't make it to the finals yet. You lost to Young Ninjas. What do you think went wrong when it comes to Vertigo? Did they heavily anti-strat you, or did you just make too many mistakes?
I think Vertigo was a combination of us being a little bit too scared to close out the game. In the end, we didn't play to win. We played to not lose. And once you go into that mentality, you start losing. So we gave them too much space around the map. Maybe we focused too much on the anti-strat we did beforehand, and we were anticipating some specific rounds from them, which they didn't do, and we kind of strayed away from what usually works for us. Also, there was a lot of close rounds that went their way, and I think the momentum just shifted in the end.
And when you moved to Mirage, was that the moment you realized, like, okay, you'll have like a hard time right now?
Yeah, Mirage was really difficult. We could never get the ball rolling. They had a lot of good clutches. I think CTR played an amazing map, doing something like 30-11. It really destroyed us on his own, and it's tough when you play against a guy like that who will just outplay you, outcall you. Didn't feel like we really had a chance in that map. Yeah.
Didier is no doubt a very talented player, but you managed to collect 5 really young, really passionate players. I wonder, how exactly did you find them? What was your approach? How did you find like those 5 guys, and why specifically them?
Yeah, so finding 5 players was not easy at all. Also, I have no idea who's good in Germany, who's good in Israel, who's good in Poland, Spain, Hungary, whatever. So I asked a lot of people I knew from the different scenes and regions. Who do you see as an up-and-comer from like your area? Who is like a potential good in-game leader, who's a potential good interfragger, all these kinds of things. And I asked people who are already established in the scene, because they must have a way better understanding than me. Obviously also looking at HLTV, who's performing well. I looked at a lot of demos from a lot of different players. I had a lot of player talks, also agent talks, also with some guys that we ultimately didn't decide to pick for the team. And in the end, we found 5 players that meshed really well together, and I could envision the roles playing out well, which was really important. That, I mean, you can't have 5 attacking players playing, or you can't have 5 goalkeepers, then it's not going to work out. So that was a big part of the puzzle, finding 5 players that would suit together on the server.
But since you mentioned that you actually looked at many names, were there any that actually were close to getting into the team but didn't make the final cut?
Yeah, there was a few players that we were in talks with, but ultimately we didn't want to pursue it because the talks with in the end we were looking at the 2 Polish players, Camille and Shane, and it just makes sense to finalize the roster with those 2. We already had Sergeant in mind, and Adam as the AWP, and also John as the supportive kind of guy. So it just made sense to go with those 2. But to give you some names, for example, in the Danish scene, because I know the Danish scene, we already looked at Fessel, for example, Siphon from Copenhagen Flames. I think there's some real potential in the Danish scene. Not only those 2, but a lot of other players. Yeah, we also looked at players from Turkey and, for example, the Boro guy who just got picked up by Endpoint, someone we looked at but didn't really get in contact with, because maybe it's just too difficult getting an international roster going if you have to play with someone from Turkey or from Albania. Jordan did this.
Ah, yes. But it seems like you're doing an absolutely amazing job being a coach. But you're like only 25. You played like in teams like Copenhagen Flames, you played in Tricked. I believe you also had a moment in Sprout. So like, are you actually done with your career and you'll now focus on being a coach? Or like, do you think you'll eventually go back into playing?
I will not go back into playing. It's only the case if for some reason the guys need to stand in one day, then I'll be ready. But I haven't really touched the game. I don't really anymore enjoy playing 5 hours of Faceit or Deathmatch every day, which I used to when I was younger. I still am very passionate about the game. I love watching the game. I love seeing the guys grow. But yeah, I'm not going to be a player again. I'm a coach full-time, so I wouldn't say my career is over, because I really want to pursue something in coaching.
Yeah, I mean, and so far, like, it seems like you are doing everything that is needed from a coach. You know, like you're giving the probably like the in-game knowledge, the preparations, the experience, and of course, like the mental and like even the physical support. Because you know, like I saw the massages that you're giving it to your guys. Like you're keeping them like in the game like all the time. But I want like. So you have like so much talent in your team. You have like FPLC players. You have JDC, who is also like, an FPL player. I wonder if you like that the team might eventually kind of like reach a ceiling and have a problem that like they can potentially go further, but they'll be blocked by the fact that they're an academy team. Do you think that this will ever happen to them?
I hope it will happen at some point, because we picked 5 players with the idea in mind that they could all go to tier 1 events. Otherwise, it would be ridiculous just to pick 5 players that could compete for eternity in the Academy League. Obviously, the goal is that they one day will go to tier 1 events, and if we ever get the problem that we're not in tournaments that are at our level, it's a luxury problem. I hope we'll get there. I'm pretty sure we'll get there even, and I think it won't take too much time. I see it in practice every time we practice. We play against some of the best teams in the world, and we have really good showings. So I think it's just a matter of time, getting experience from events like this.
I mean, I think there are already speculations maybe on the fact that maybe Torzi will eventually take the spot of Aker in the main roster. Do you actually think that he's already ready for tier 1 or not yet?
I don't actually know if he's going to replace Aker. It's not something I've heard of. But I think in the case of Adam and all the other guys, I think they could use some more experience before going to the tier 1 stage. This right here is good baby steps in that direction. And hopefully we'll have not only one guy going to the main team, but multiple guys at some point.
And your upcoming series will be against Fnatic Rising. You didn't play against them yet during the LAN phase, but what is like your mentality going into this tournament? Because I remember you guys actually posted a YouTube video on the Mouse YouTube channel about that. Like, yeah, in the beginning, even like when you were winning, you were maybe like not always mentally there. So how are the guys feeling now after like unfortunately losing yesterday, but now like going to this game?
I think the guys are feeling great. I made sure that everyone was okay yesterday after the loss. I made sure they were all okay this morning, and we're going into the zone. I think some of the guys are maybe already in their minds thinking that we're going to have a rematch against NIP, and I made sure that there's a big match coming up against Fnatic, and we've, as you already mentioned, struggled a lot early on in the league and played really close games against a lot of teams, and we're pretty confident it's going to be another close game here, and it will be a really long day for us.
Thank you very much for the interview. It was really insightful. Before like I let you go and prepare already because I need to get ready. Is there anything you want to say maybe to your guys, to organization, or maybe to the fans?
Yeah, thank you to Mousesports for making it happen. Not only going to the bootcamp in Hamburg, but the support all the time. It's been great, really. Also, thank you to WePlay for setting this up here. It's a great opportunity for the players, but also for me.
Thank you very much, sycrone. Remember to follow him on the social medias, and I'll be back again with new interviews.